let fame that all hunt after in their lives live registered upon our brazen tombs, and then grace us in the disgrace of death. When spied of cormorant devouring time, the endeavor of this present breath may buy, that honor which shall bait his sight's keen edge, and make us heirs of all eternity. Therefore, brave conquerors, for so you are, that war against your own affections and the huge army of the world's desires, our late edict shall strongly stand in force. Navarre shall be the wonder of the world. Our court shall be a little academe, still in contemplative and living art. You three, Barone, Dumaine, and Longueville, have sworn for 3 years' term to live with me, my fellow scholars, and to keep those statutes that are recorded in this schedule here. Your oaths are passed, and now subscribe your name, that his own hand may strike his honor down that violates the smallest branch herein. If you are armed to do as sworn to do, subscribe to your deep oaths, and keep it too.
I am resolved. 'Tis but a 3 years' fast. The mind shall banquet, though the body pine.
My loving Lord Dumaine is mortified. To love, to wealth, to pomp, I pine and die, with all these living in philosophy.
I can but say their protestation over. So much, dear liege, I have already sworn. That is to live and study here 3 years. But there are other strict observances, as not to see a woman in that term, which I hope well is not enrolled there. And 1 day in a week to touch no food, and but 1 meal on every day beside, the which I hope is not enrolled there. And then to sleep but 3 hours in the night, and not be seen to wink of all the day, which I hope well is not enrolled there. Oh, these are barren tasks, too hard to keep, not to see ladies study fast, not sleep.
Your oath is passed to pass away from these.
Let me say no, my liege, and if you please, I only swore to study with your grace, and stay here in your court for 3 years' space.
You swore to that, Barone, and to the rest.
By yea and nay, sir, then I swore in jest. What is the end of study? Let me know.
Why, that to know which else we should not know.
Things hidden barred, you mean, from common sense.
Aye, that a study's godlike recompense.
Come on, then. I will swear to study so, to know the thing I am forbid to know, as thus to study where I well may dine, when I to feast expressly am forbid, or study where to meet some mistress fine, when mistresses from common sense are hid.
These be the stops that hinder study quite, and train our intellect to vain delight.
Why, all delights are vain, but that most vain was with pain purchased doth inherit pain, as painfully to pore upon a book, to seek the light of truth while truth the while doth falsely blind the eyesight of his look. Light seeking light doth light of light beguile, so ere you find where light in darkness lies, your light grows dark by losing of your eyes. Study is like the heaven's glorious sun, that will not be deep searched with saucy looks. Small have continual plotters ever won, save base authority from others' books.
How well he's read, to reason against reading.
Proceeded well to stop all good proceeding.
He weeds the corn, and still let's grow the wheating.
The spring is near when green geese are a-breeding.
How follows that?
Fitness, place, and time.
In reason, nothing.
Something then in rhyme.
Barone is like the envious sneaping frost, that bites the firstborn infants of the spring.
Well, say I am. Why should proud summer boast before the birds have any cause to sing? Why should I joy in any abortive birth? At Christmas I no more desire a rose than wish a snow in May's newfangled shows, but to like of each thing that in season grows.
Well, sit you out. Go home, Barone. Adieu.
No, my good lord, I have sworn to stay with you. And though I have for barbarism spoke more than for that angel knowledge you can say, yet confident I'll keep what I've swore, and bide the penance of each 3 years' day. Give me the paper, let me read the same.
How well this yielding rescues thee from shame.
Item, that no woman shall come within a mile of my court. Hath this been proclaimed?
4 days ago.
Let's see the penalty. On pain of losing her tongue. Who devised this penalty?
Marry, that did I.
Sweet Lord, and why?
To fright them hence.
A dangerous law against gentility. Item, if any man be seen to talk with a woman within the term of 3 years, he shall endure such public shame as the rest of the court can possibly devise. This article, my liege, yourself must break. For well you know, here comes in embassy the French king's daughter with yourself to speak. About surrender up of Aquitaine to her decrepit, sick, and bedrid father.
For what say you, lords? Why, this was quite forgot. We must of force dispense with this decree. She must lie here on mere necessity.
Necessity will make us all forsworn 3,000 times within this 3-year space. If I break faith, this word shall speak for me. I am forsworn on mere necessity. So, to the laws at large, I write my name. And he who breaks them, in the least degree, stands in attainder of eternal shame. But I believe, although I seem so loath, I am the last that will last keep his oath. But is there no quick recreation granted?
Aye, that there is. Our court, you know, is haunted with a refined traveler of Spain, a man in all the world's new fashion planted, that hath the mint of phrases in his brain. This child of fancy that Armado hight, for interim to our studies shall relate, with high-born words, the worth of many a night, from tawny Spain lost in the world's debates.
Costard, the swain, and he shall be our sport. And so to study 3 years is but short.
Oh, which is the king's own person?
This fellow, what wouldst?
I myself reprehend his own person, were I his grace's constable. But I would see his own person in flesh and blood.
This is he.
Senior Armado, Armado?
I don't know.
Commends you. There's villainy abroad. This letter will tell you more.
Sir, the contempt thereof are as touching me.
A letter from the magnificent Armado.
How low soever the matter, I hope in God for high words.
The matter is to me, sir, as concerning Jacquinetta. The manner is I was taken in the manner.
In what manner?
In manner and form following, sir. Such is the simplicity of man to hearken after flesh.
Will you hear this letter with attention?
As we would hear an oracle.
Great deputy, the Welkin's vicegerent and sole dominator of Navarre.
Not a word of costard yet.
So it was.
It may be so, but if he says it is so, he isn't telling truth, but so.
Peace.
Be to me and every man who dares not to fight.
No words. So it was. Besieged with melancholy, and as I am a gentleman, betook myself to walk to the place where it standeth north-northeast from the west corner of thy curious knotted garden. There did I see that low-spirited swain.
Me?
That unlettered, small-knowing soul.
Me?
That shallow vassal.
Still me.
Custard.
Oh, me.
Consort Jacquinetta, a child of our grandmother Eve, or for thy more sweet understanding, a woman. A woman him have sent to thee to receive the meed of punishment by thy sweet grace's officer, Anthony Dole.
Me? It shall please you. I am Dole.
Thine in all compliments of devoted and heart-burning heat of duty, Don Adriano de Armado. Sirrah, what say you to this? Did you not hear the proclamation?
I do confess to much of the hearing it, but little of the marking it.
It was proclaimed a year's imprisonment to be taken with a wench.
I no, sir. I was taken with a damsel.
Well, it was proclaimed, damsel.
This was no damsel, neither, sir. She was a virgin.
It is so very too, for it was proclaimed virgin.
Then I deny her virginity. I was taken with a maid.
This maid will not serve your term, sir.
This maid will serve my turn, sir.
Sir, I will pronounce your sentence. You shall fast a week with bran and water.
I'd rather pray a month with mutton and porridge.
And Don Armado shall be your keeper. My lord Barone, see him delivered o'er, and go, we lords, to put into practice to which each other hath so strongly sworn.
I'll lay my head to any good man's hat. These oaths and laws will prove an idle scorn. Sirrah, come on.
I suffer for truth, sir. And true it was, Jacquinetta is a true girl. And therefore, welcome the sour cup of prosperity. Affliction may one day smile again. But till then, sit thee down, sorrow.
Oh, Mother, ven acá. You see, lass, what sign is it when a man of great spirit grows melancholy?
Great sign, sir, that he will look sad.
Why, sadness is one and the self-same thing, dear imp.
Oh, no. No, oh, Lord, sir, no.
How canst thou part sadness and melancholy, my tender juvenile?
By a familiar demonstration of the working, my tough signor.
Why, tough signor?
Why, tender juvenile.
I spoke it, tender juvenile, as a congruent epitheton appertaining to thy young days, which we may nominate tender.
And I, tough signor, as in a pertinent title to your old time, which we may nominate tough.
Pretty and apt.
How mean you, sir? I pretty in my saying apt, or I apt in my saying pretty?
Thou pretty, because little.
Ah, little pretty because little, wherefore apt.
And therefore apt, because quick.
Speak you this in my praise, master?
In thy condign praise.
Oh, I would praise an eel with the same praise.
What, that an eel is ingenious?
That an eel is quick.
I do say that very quickened answers. Thou hatest my blood.
I am answered, sir.
I love not to be crossed. Alas, I hereupon confess I am in love, as it is a base for a soldier to love, so I am in love with a base wench. I think scorn to sigh. Methinks I should outswear Cupid. Comfort me, lass. Just, what great men have been in love?
A Hercules, master.
Oh, most sweet Hercules, huh? And more authority, dear lass. Name more and sweet, my child. Let them be men of good repute and carriage.
Samson, master. He was a man of good carriage. Great carriage, for he carried the town gates on his back like a porter, and he was in love.
Oh, well, a neat Samson. A strong, a jointed Samson. Who is Samson's love, my dear moth?
A woman, master.
Of what complexion?
Of the seawater green, sir.
Oh, green. Indeed is the color of lovers, but to have a love of that color, methinks Samson had small reason for it. He surely affected her for her wit. My love is most immaculate white, and the red.
Oh, most immaculate thoughts, master, are masked under such colors.
Oh, define, well-educated infant.
My father's wit and my mother's tongue assist me.
Sweet invocation of a child, most pretty and pathetical.
If she be made of white and red, her faults will ne'er be known. For blushing cheeks by faults are bred, and fears by pale white shown. Then if she fear or be to blame, by this you shall not know. For still her cheeks possess the same which they to doth owe. A dangerous rhyme, master, against the reason of white and red.
Is there not a ballad, lass, of the king and the beggar?
And the world was very guilty of such a ballad some 3 ages since, but I think now 'tis not to be found.
Oh, I will write that subject newly retore, that I may example my digression through some mighty precedent. Oh. Alas, I do love that a country girl that I took in the park with the rational hind costard. She deserves well.
To be whipped.
Oh, hey, sing, lass. My spirit grows heavy
And
in
that's
love.
great marvel, loving a light wind.
Oh, I say sing.
Oh, forbear to this company be passed.
Hardly know her.
Sir, the king's pleasure is that you keep Costard safe, and you must suffer him to take no delight, but it must fast 3 days a week for this damsel I must keep at her lodge.
I do betray myself with blushing. A maid?
Man.
I will visit thee.
At the lodge?
That's nearby.
Oh, yes. I know where it is situated.
Lord, how wise you are.
I will tell thee wonders.
With that face.
Oh, I love thee.
So I heard you say.
And so.
Fair weather after you.
Come, Jacquinetta, our way.
Ah, Philip! Oh, thou shalt fast for thy offense.
Well, sir, I hope when I do it, I shall do it on a full stomach. Ha.
Thou shalt be severely punished. Take this villain away. Shut him up.
Come, you transgressing slave, away!
Let me not be pent up, sir. I will fast being loose.
No, sir, thou were fast and loose thou shalt to prison. Come, sir, away.
Very well, Master Moth. I can keep quiet. Yeah.
I do affect the very ground, which is base, where I horseshoe, which is baser, guided by her foot, which is basest, doth tread. I shall be forsworn, which is a great argument of falsehood if I love. And how can that be true love, which is falsely attempted? Now, love is a devil. There is no evil angel, but love. Yet was Samson so tempted, and he had excellent strength. Yet was Solomon so seduced, and he had a very good wit. Cupid's arrow is too hard for Hercules' club, and therefore too much odds for a Spaniard's rapier. Adieu, valor. Rust rapier, be still drum, for your manager is in love. Oh, yea, he loveth. Assist me, some extemporal god of rhyme, for I am sure I shall turn sonnet. Devise, wit, write, oh, pen, for I am, for whole volumes, in folio. What is it? Oh, hi.
madame, summon up your dearest spirits. Consider who the king your father sends, to whom he sends, and what's his embassy. Yourself, held precious in the world's esteem, to parley with the sole inheritor of all perfections that a man may owe. Matchless Navarre, the plea of no less weight than Aquitaine, a dowry for a queen. Be now as prodigal of all dear grace was, as nature was in making graces dear, when she did starve the general world and prodigally gave them all to you.
Good Lord, Boyette, my beauty, though but mean, needs not the painted flourish of your praise. Beauty is bought by judgment of the eye, not uttered by base sale of chapmen's tongues. I am less proud to hear you tell my worth than you much willing to be counted wise in spending your wit in the praise of mine. But now, to task the tasker, good Boyette, you are not ignorant. All telling fame doth noise abroad, Navarre hath made a vow. Till painful study shall outwear 3 years, no woman may approach his silent court. Therefore, to seemeth it a needful course, before we enter his forbidden gates to know his pleasure. And in that behalf, bold of your worthiness, we single you as our best moving fair solicitor. Tell him, the daughter of the King of France, on serious business, craving quick dispatch, importunes personal conferences with his grace. Haste signifies so much while we attend, like humble visaged suitors, his high will.
Proud of employment, willingly I go.
All pride is willing pride, and yours is so. Who are the votaries, my loving lords, that are vow fellows with this virtuous king?
Lord Longueville is one.
Know you the man?
I know him, madam. At a marriage feast in Normandy saw I this Longueville. A man of sovereign parts he is esteemed, well-fitted in arts, glorious in arms. Nothing becomes him ill that he would well.
Who are the rest?
The young Dumaine, a well-accomplished youth. Of all that virtue loved, for virtue loved, for he hath wit to make an ill shape good. And shape to win grace, though he had no wit. I saw him at Duke Alencon's once. And much too little of that good I saw is my report to his great worthiness.
Oh. Another of these students at this time was there with him, if I have heard a truth. Barone, they call him, but a merrier man within the limit of becoming mirth. I never spent an hour's talk withal. His eye begets occasion for his wit. For every object that the one doth catch, the other turns to a mirth-moving jest, which his fair tongue, conceit expositor, delivers in such apt and gracious words that older ears play truant to his tales and younger hearings are quite ravished. So sweet and voluble is his discourse.
God bless my ladies. Are they all in love that everyone her own hath garnished with such bedecking ornaments of praise?
Here comes Boyette.
Now what admittance, Lord?
Navarre had notice of your fair approach, and he and his competitors were all on oath to meet you, gentle lady, before I came. Marry thus much we have learnt. He'd rather mean to lodge you in a field, like one that comes to besiege his court and seek a dispensation for his oath, to let you enter his unpeopled house. Oh, here comes Navarre.
Fair princess, welcome to the court of Navarre.
Fair I give you back again, and welcome I have not yet. The roof of this court is too high to be yours, and welcome to the wide fields too base to be mine.
You shall be welcome, madam, to my court.
I will be welcome then. Conduct me hither.
Hear me, dear lady. I have sworn an oath.
Our Lady help my lord, he'll be forsworn.
Not for the world, fair madam, by my will.
Why, will shall break its will and nothing else.
Your ladyship is ignorant what it is.
Were my lord so, his ignorance were wise. I hear your grace hath sworn out housekeeping. 'Tis deadly sin to keep that oath, my lord, and sin to break it. But pardon me, I am too sudden bold to teach a teacher ill beseemeth me. Vouchsafe to read the purpose of my coming, and suddenly resolve me in my suit.
Madam, I will, if suddenly I may.
You will the sooner that I were away, for you'll prove perjured if you make me stay.
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
I know you did.
How needless was it then to ask the question?
You must not be so quick.
'Tis long of you that spur me with such questions.
Your wit's too hard, it speeds too fast, will tire.
Not till it leave the rider in the mire.
What time of day?
The hour that fools should ask.
Now fair befall your
Oh,
mask,
fair fall the face it covers.
and send you many lovers.
Amen, so you be none.
Nay, then will I be gone.
Your father here doth intimate the payment of 100,000 crowns, being but the one half dispersed by my father in his wars. But say that he or we as neither have received that sum, yet there remains unpaid 100,000 more, in surety of the which one part of Aquitaine is bound to us. If then the king your father were to restore but that one half which is unsatisfied, we will give up our right in Aquitaine and hold fair friendship with his majesty. But that it seems he little purposeth. Dear princess, were not his requests so far from reason's yielding, your fair self should make a yieldings against my breast, and go well satisfied to France again.
You do the king my father too much wrong, and wrong the reputation of your name, in so unseeming to confess receipt of that which hath so faithfully been paid.
I do protest, I never heard of it. And if you prove it, I'll repay it back or yield up Aquitaine.
We arrest your word. Boyette, you can produce acquaintances for such a sum of special officers of Charles, his father.
Satisfy me so.
So please, your grace, the packet is not come. Tomorrow you shall have sight of them.
It shall suffice me, at which interview all of a reason I will yield unto. Meantime, receive such welcome at my hand, as honor without breach of honor may make tender to thy true worthiness. You may not come, fair princess, in my gates, but here without you shall be so received, as you shall deem yourself lodged in my heart. Though so denied fair harbor in my household, your own good thoughts excuse me, and farewell. Tomorrow shall we visit you again?
Sweet health and fair desires consort your grace.
Thy own wish I thee in every place.
Lady, I will commend you to mine own heart.
Oh, pray you, do my commendations. I would be so glad to see it.
I would you heard it groan.
Oh, it's the fool sick.
Oh, sick at the heart.
Alack, let it blood.
Will that do it good?
My physic says I.
Will you prick it with your eye?
No point with my knife.
Now God save thy life.
And yours from long living.
Ah, I cannot stay. Thanksgiving.
Sir, I pray you a word. What lady is that same?
The heir of Alencon, Catherine her name.
A gallant lady. Monsieur, fare you well.
I beseech you, a word. What is she in the white?
A woman. And you saw her in the light?
I desire her name.
Oh, she hath but one but herself to desire that were a shame.
Pray you, sir, whose daughter?
Her mother's I have heard.
God's blessings on your beard.
Oh, good sir, be not offended. She is an heir of Falconbridge.
Nay, my choler is ended. She is a most sweet lady.
Not unlike, sir, that may be.
What's her name in the cap?
Rosaline by good hap.
Is she wedded or no?
To her will, so also.
You are welcome, sir, adieu.
Farewell to me, sir, and welcome to you.
That last is Barone, the merry madcap lord. Not a word with him, but a jest.
And every jest but a word.
And it was well done of you to take him at his word.
I was willing to grapple as he was to board.
Two hot sheep marry.
And wherefore sheep? No sheep, sweet lamb, unless we feed on your lips.
My lips are no common, though several they be.
Belonging to whom?
To my fortunes and me.
Good wits will be jangling, but gentles agree. This civil war of wits were much better used on Navarre and his bookmen, for here 'tis abused.
If my observation, which very seldom lies, to the heart's rhetoric disclosed with eyes, deceive me not now. Navarre is infected.
With what?
And that which we lovers entitle affected.
Your reason.
Why, all his behaviors did make their retire to the cord of his eye, peeping through desire. His heart like an agate with your print impressed, proud with his form and his eyes pride expressed. His tongue all impatient to speak and not see, did stumble with haste in his eyesight to be. All senses to that sense did make their repair, to feel only looking on fairest of fair. His face's own margin did quote such amazes, that all his eyes enchanted with gazes. I'll give you Aquitaine and all that is his. And you give him for my sake but one loving kiss.
Come to our pavilion. Boyette is disposed.
But to speak that in words which his eyes have disclosed, I have only added a mouth of an eye by adding a tongue which I know will not lie.
Thou art an old lovemonger and speakest skillfully.
He is Cupid's grandfather and worketh willfully.
Do you hear, my mad wenches?
No.
Then what do you see?
Aye, our way to be gone.
You are too hard for me.
Hello. Ooh. Warble child.
Take those lips away that so sweetly were forsworn.
Oh, make passionate my sense of hearing. Oh.
And those eyes the break of day, lights that do mislead the morn. But my kisses bring again, seals of love, but sealed in vain, sealed in vain, sealed in vain.
Sweet air. Go, tenderness of years. Take this key. Give enlargement to Castor the swain. Bring him festinately hither. I must employ him in a letter to my love.
Master, will you win your love with a tune at the tongue's end? Sigh a note and sing a note
Is sometimes to the throat as if you swallowed love with singing love.
is sometimes to the notes as if you snuffed up love with smelling love. With your hat, penthouse over the shop of your eyes, with your arms crossed like a man after the old painting. These are compliments, these are humors, these betray nice wenches. Do you note me, master?
Ooh, how hast thou purchased this experience?
By my penny of observation, but have you forgot your love?
Almost I had.
Negligent student, learn her by heart.
By heart and in her class. Now go, fetch hither to the swain. He must carry me a letter.
I go.
The way is but short. Away.
As swift as lead, sir.
The meaning, pretty ingenious, is not lead a metal, dull, heavy, and slow.
A minute may honest master, or rather master, know.
I say lead is slow.
You are too swift, sir, to say so. Is that lead slow, which is fired from a gun?
A sweet smoke of rhetoric. She reputes me a cannon and a bullet. But she, I shoot at this way.
Something and I flee.
A most acute juvenile, voluble and free of grace. Ooh, by my favor, sweet welkin, hello. Ooh, I must sigh in thy face. Most rude and melancholy. No, valor give thee place. Ooh, my herald has returned.
Oh, wonder, master, here is a custard broken in his shin.
Some enigma, some riddle. Oh, come, thy l'envoi. Begin.
No enigma. No riddle. No l'envoi. No salve in the mail, sir. Oh, sir. What the? A plantain! A plantain!
Oh, plantain! It's a plantain! The heaving of my lungs provokes me to ridiculous smiling. Oh, pardon me, my stars. Doth the inconsiderate take the word salve for l'envoi and the word l'envoi for a salve?
Do the wise not think the mother is not l'envoi, a salve?
No, it is some epilogue or discourse to make plain some obscure precedents that have to form same, okay? I will example it. The fox, the ape, and the hummingbird were still not up the tree. That's the moral. Oh, now thy l'envoi.
Well, I will add the l'envoi. You say the moral again.
Good. Ooh, okay. The fox, the ape, and the humblebee were still at us but being free.
Until the goose came out the door, staying me out by adding
Yes, good.
Now will I say the moral, or you follow with my l'envoi?
Yes. No. Oh, come on. Do it with us. Good.
The fox, the ape, and the humblebee were still at odds but being free.
Until the goose came out the door, stayed the odds by adding 4. I did it from the top of my head. No, that's what you said. Oh. How did this argument begin?
By saying that a custard was broken in his shin, then called you for the l'envoi.
True, and I for a plantain.
But tell me, how is there a custard broken in a shin?
Well, I will tell you sensibly. We were back there.
Thou hast no feeling of it, Ma. Here.
What happened?
I will speak that l'envoi.
Try again. Yes.
I, custard running out, that was safely within, fell over the threshold and broke my shin.
That's it? Oh. We will speak no more of this matter.
No.
Sir Acosta, I will enfranchise thee. Thou art immured, restrained, captivated, bound. I will give thee thy liberty, and in lieu thereof, impose on thee nothing but this. Bear this significant to the country maid Jacqueline. Oh. Oh, here you go. ¿Qué pasó? Oh, do we have it? Ooh. That is remuneration. Oh, a moth, a follow. The fox, the ape, and the humblebee were, oh no.
Like the sequel on. Senor Custard, adieu.
Thou sweet ounce of man's flesh. Now will I look to his remuneration. Remuneration! That's the Spanish word for 3 farthings. 3 farthings. Remuneration! Tell me, sir, what's the price of this inkle? 1 penny? No, I'll give you a remuneration! Why, it carries it! Remuneration! I will never buy and sell out of this word.
Ah, my good knave Custard, exceedingly well met.
Pray you, sir, how much carnation ribbon may one man buy for a remuneration?
What is a remuneration?
Marry, sir. Oh. Halfpenny farthing.
Why, then 3 farthing worth of silk.
I thank your worship. Mwah. God be with you.
Stay, slave. I must employ thee. As thou wilt win my favor, good my knave, do one thing for me that I shall entreat.
When would you have it done, sir?
This afternoon.
Then I will do it, sir. Fare you well.
Thou knowest not what it is.
I shall know, sir, when I have done it.
Why, villain, thou must know first.
I will come to your worship tomorrow morning.
It must be done this afternoon. Hark, slave! It is but this. The princess comes to hunt here in the park, and in her train there is a gentle lady. When tongues speak sweetly, then they name her name, and Rosaline they call her. Ask for her, and to her white hand see thou do commend this sealed up counsel. There's thy garden. Go.
Garden? Oh. Better then, remuneration. 11 pence farthing better. Most sweet garden. I will do it, sir, in print. Garden! Oh. Remuneration? Yeah.
And I, forsooth, in love, I that have been love's whip, a very beadle to a humorous sigh, a critic, nay, a night watch constable, a domineering pedant o'er the boy, than whom no mortal so magnificent. This wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this senior, junior, giant dwarf, Don Cupid, regent of love rhymes, lord of folded arms, the anointed sovereign of sighs and groans, liege of all loiterers and malcontents, dread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, sole imperator, and great general of trotting paraders. Oh, my little heart. And I to be a corporal of his field, and wear his colors like a tumbler's hoop. What I love, I sue, I seek a wife, a woman that is like a German clock, still a repairing, ever out of frame, never going aright, being a watch, but still being watched that it may still go right. Nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all, and among 3, to love, the worst of all. A whitely wanton with a velvet brow with 2 pitch balls stuck in her face for eyes. Aye, and by heaven, one that will do the deed, though Argus be her eunuch and her guard, and I to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to, it is a plague that Cupid will impose for my neglect of his almighty, dreadful little might. Well, I will love. Write, sigh, pray, sue, and groan. Some men must love my lady, and some Joan.
Was that the king that spurred his horse so hard against the steep uprising of the hill?
I know not, but I think it is not he.
Whoever it was showed a mounting mind. Well, friends, today we shall have our dispatch. On Saturday we will return to France. Then, Forrester, my friend, where's the bush that we must stand and play the murderer in?
Hereby upon the edge of yonder coppice, a stand where you may make the fairest shoot.
I think, my beauty, I am fair that shoot, and thereupon thou speakest the fairest shoot.
Forgive me, madam, for I meant not so.
What? What? First praise me and again say no? Oh, short-lived pride. Not fair, alack for woe.
Yes, madam, fair.
Nay, never paint me now, where fair is not, praise cannot mend the brow. Here, good my glass, take this for telling true. Fair payment for foul words is more than due.
Nothing but fair is that which you inherit.
See, my beauty will be saved by merit. But come, the bow. Now mercy goes to kill, and shooting well is then accounted ill. Thus will I save my credit in the shoot. Not wounding pity would let me do it. If wounding then it was to show my skill, that more for praise than purpose meant to kill. And out of question so it is sometimes. Glory grows guilty of detested crimes, when for fame's sake for praise in outward part, we bend to that, the working of the heart. As I for praise alone now seek to spill the poor dear's blood, that my heart means no ill.
Do not curse wives, hold that self-sovereignty only for praise sake, when they strive to be lords o' their lords.
Only for praise and praise we may afford, to any lady that subdues a lord.
God dig you dang all.
Here comes a member of the Commonwealth.
Pray you, sir, which is the head lady?
Thou shalt know her, fellow, by the rest who have no heads.
Which is the greatest lady, the highest?
The thickest and the tallest.
Oh, the thickest and the tallest? It is so. Truth is truth. Are you not the head lady? You are the thickest here.
What's your will, sir? What's your will?
I have a letter from a Monsieur Baron to a lady, Rosalind.
Oh, thy letter, thy letter. He's a good friend of mine. Stand aside, good bearer. Boyette, you can carve. Break up this capon and everyone give ear.
I am bound to serve. By heaven that thou art fair is most infallible true, that thou art beauteous, true itself, that thou art lovely. The magnanimous King Cofetta has set eye upon the most indubiate beggar maid.
Zanella Fawn. Here.
This letter is mistook. It is important none here. Ah, it is written to Jacquinetta.
From Don Adriano de Armado?
This Armado is a Spaniard that keeps here in the court.
Thou fellow, a word. Who gave thee this letter?
I told you, my lord.
To whom shouldest thou give it?
From my lord to my lady.
From which lord to which
From
lady?
my lord Baron, a good master of mine, to a lady of France he called Rosalind.
Thou hast mistaken his letter.
Yeah.
Come, friends, away. Here, sweet, put up this. 'Twill be thine another day.
Who is the suitor? Who is the shooter?
Shall I teach you to know?
Oh, my continent of beauty.
Why, she that bears the bow. Finally put off.
You still wrangle with her, Boyette, and she strikes at the brow.
She herself is hid lower. Have I hit her now?
Oh, thou canst not hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Thou canst not hit it, my good man.
And I cannot. And I cannot, another can.
Very reverend sports, truly, and done in the testimony of a good conscience.
The deer was, as you know, sanguis in blood, ripe as the fruit who now hangeth like a jewel in the ear of Calo, the sky, the welkin, the heaven, and anon falleth like a crab on the face of Terra, the soil, the land, the earth.
Truly, Mistress Holofernes, the epithets are sweetly varied, like a scholar at the least. But, ma'am, I assure ye, it was a buck of the first head.
Oh, Sir Nathaniel, old Credo.
'Twas not a hard credo, 'twas a pricket.
Most barbarous intimation, and yet a kind of insinuation, as it were, in way of explication, facere, as it were, replication, or rather ostentaire, to show, as it were, his inclination after his undressed, unpolished, uneducated, unpruned, untrained, or rather unlettered, or rather rest unconfirmed fashion, to insert again my haute credo for a deer.
I said the deer was not a hard credo, 'twas a pricket.
Twice sod simplicity his coctus. O thou monster ignorance, how deformed dost thou look?
Oh, ma'am, he hath never fed of the dainties that are bred in a book. He hath not eat paper, as it were. He hath not drunk ink. His intellect is not replenished. He is only an animal, only sensible in the duller parts. But omni bene say I, being of an old father's mind, many can brook the weather that love not the wind.
Sir Nathaniel, will you hear an extemporal epitaph on the death of a deer? And, to humor the ignorant, call I the deer the princess killed a pricket.
Proceed, Mistress Holofernes, proceed. So it shall please you to abrogate scurrility.
The prayful princess pierced and pricked a pretty pleasing pricket. Some say a sore, but not a sore, till now made sore with shooting. The dogs did yell, put L to sore, then sorrel jumps from
Thicket.
or pricket, sore, or else sorrel. The people fall a-hooting.
Oh, a rare talent.
This is a gift that I have. Simple, a foolish, extravagant spirit, full of forms, figures, shapes, objects, ideas, apprehensions, motions, revolutions. These are begot in the ventricle of memory, nourished in the womb of the brain, and delivered upon mellowing of occasion. But the gift is good in those in whom it is acute, and I am thankful for it.
You two are bookish. Can you tell me by your wit what was a month old at Cain's birth that's not 5 weeks old yet?
Dictane, Goodman Doll. Dictane.
What is dictane?
A title to Phoebe.
To Luna.
To the moon. I praise the Lord for you, ma'am, and so may my parishioners, for their sons are well tutored by you, and their daughters profit very greatly under you. You are a good member of the Commonwealth.
By Hercules, if their sons be ingenuous, they shall want no instruction. If their daughters be capable, I will put it to them. But vir sapit qui pacu loquitur.
Yoo-hoo!
A soul feminine saluteth us.
God give you good morrow, Master Parson. Be so good as read me this letter. It was sent me from Don Armado. I beseech you read it.
What, my soul verses?
Hi, ma'am, and very learned.
Let me hear a staff, a stanza, a verse. Lege Domine.
If love make me forsworn, how shall I swear to love? Ah, never faith could hold, if not to beauty vow. Though to myself forsworn, to thee I'll faithful prove. Those thoughts to me were oaks, to thee like osiers bowed. If knowledge be the mark, to know thee shall suffice. Well learned is that tongue that well can thee commend. Celestial as thou art, oh pardon, love this wrong that sings heaven's praise with such an earthly tongue.
You find not the apostrophes and so miss the accent. Here, let me supervise the canzonet. Here are only numbers ratified, but for the elegancy, facility, and golden cadence of Posy Carrot. But, Damoiselle Virgin, was this directed to you? I'm him. I will overglance the superscript. To the snow-white hand of the most beauteous Lady Rosaline. I will look again for the nomination of the party writing to the person written unto. Your ladyships in all desired employment, Barone. Sir Nathaniel, this Barone is one of the votaries with the king, and here he hath framed a letter to the Lady Rosaline, which hath miscarried. Trip and go, my sweet, deliver this letter unto the royal hand of the king. It may concern much. Stay not thy compliment, adieu.
Ma'am, God save your life. Oh, good custard. Go with me.
Have with thee, my girl.
Ma'am, you have done this in the fear of God, very religiously.
I thank you. But to return to the verses, did they please you, Sir Nathaniel?
Marvelous well for the pen.
I do dine today at the father's of a certain pupil of mine, where, if before repast it shall please you to gratify the table with a grace, I will, upon my privilege I have with the parents of the foresaid child or pupil, undertake your Benvenuto, where I will prove those verses to be very unlearned, neither savoring of poetry, wit, nor invention. I do beseech your society.
And thank you too, for society, saith the text, is the happiness of life.
Sir, I do invite you to. You shall not say me nay, pacu verba. Away. The gentles are at their sport, and we will to our recreation.
The king, he is hunting the deer. I am coursing myself. They have pitched a toil. I am toiling in a pitch. Pitch that defiles. Defile! A foul word. Well, set thee down, sorrow. For so they say, the fool said, and so say I, and I the fool. By the Lord, I will not love. If I do, hang me in faith, I will not. Oh, but her eye! By this light, but for her eye, I would not love her, yes, for her 2 eyes. Well, I do nothing in the world but lie and lie in my throat. By heaven, I do love, and it hath taught me to rhyme and to be melancholy, and here is part of my rhyme, and here my melancholy. Well, she hath one of my sonnets already. The clown bore it, the fool sent it, and the lady hath it. Sweet clown, sweeter fool, sweetest lady. By the world, I would not care a pin if the other 3 were in. Oh, here comes one with a paper. God give him grace to groan.
I mean.
Shot by heaven, proceed, sweet Cupid. Thou hast thumped him with thy bird bolt under the left pap in faith's secrets.
So sweet a kiss the golden sun gives not to those fresh morning drops upon the rose, as thy eye beams when their fresh rays have smote the night's dew that on my cheek down flows, no drop, but as a coach doth carry thee, so ridest thou triumphing my woe. Do but behold the tears that swell in me, and they thy glory to my grief will show. O Queen of Queens! How far dost thou excel? No thought can think, nor tongue of mortal tell. How shall she know my griefs? I'll drop the paper. Sweet leaves shade folly. Who is she that comes here? What? Longueville, in reading, Listen here.
Now in thy likeness, one more fool appear.
Ay me, I am forsworn.
In love, I hope sweet fellowship and shame.
One drunkard loves another of the name.
Am I the first that have been perjured so?
I could put thee in comfort, not by two that I know.
I fear these stubborn lines lack power to move. Did not the heavenly rhetoric of thine eye, against whom the world cannot hold argument, persuade my heart to this false perjury? Vows broke for thee deserve not punishment. A woman I forswore, but I will prove, thou being a goddess, I forswore not thee. My vow was earthly, thou a heavenly love. Thy grace being gained cures all disgrace in me. Vows are but breath, and breath a vapor is. Then thou, fair sun, which on my earth dost shine, exhalest this vapor vow, in thee it is. If broken, then it is no fault of mine. If by me broke, what fool is not so wise to lose an oath to win a paradise? By whom shall I send this? Company, stay!
Like a demigod sit here I in the sky, and wretched fool's secrets heedfully o'er I. More sacks to the mill, oh heavens, I have my wish. Domain transformed, 4 woodcocks in a dish.
Oh, most divine Kate!
Oh, most profane coxcomb.
By heaven, the wonder and immortal eye, as upright as the satyr, as fair as day. Oh, that I had my wish!
And I had mine.
And I had mine.
And I had mine.
I would forget her, but a fever she reigns in my blood and will remembered be. Once more I'll read the ode that I have writ.
Once more I'll mark how love can vary wit.
On a day, alack the day, love whose month is ever May, spied a blossom passing fair, playing in the wanton air. Through the velvet leaves the wind, all unseen, can passage find, that the lover, sick to death, wish himself the heaven's breath. Ere, quoth he, thy cheeks may blow, ere would that I might triumph so. But alack, my hand is sworn, ne'er to pluck thee from thy thorn. Vow alack for youth unmeet, youth so apt to pluck a sweet. Do not call it sin in me that I am forsworn for thee. Thou for whom Jove would swear, Juno but a Herodian were, and deny himself for Jove, turning mortal for thy load. Oh, would the King Verone and Longaville were lovers too. Ill to example ill would from my forehead wipe a perjured note, for none offend where all alike do dote.
Dumaine, you may look pale, but I should blush, I know, to be overheard and taken napping so.
Come, sir, you blush, as his your case is such. You chide at him, offending twice as much. You do not love Maria. Longaville did never sonnet for her sake compile, nor never lay his wreathed arms athwart his loving bosom to keep down his heart. I have been closely shrouded in this bush, and marked you both, and for you both did blush. What will Verone say, when that he shall hear faith so infringed, which such zeal did swear? How will he scorn? How will he spend his wit? How will he triumph, leap, and laugh at it? For all the wealth that I have ever seen, I would not have him know so much by me.
Good, my liege, I pray thee, pardon me. Good heart, what grace hast thou thus to reprove these worms for loving that art most in love? Your eyes do make no coaches in your tears. There is no certain princess that appears. You'll not be perjured, 'tis a hateful thing. Oh, what a scene of foolery have I seen, of sighs, of groans, of sorrow, and of teen. Oh me, with what strict patience have I sat to see a king transformed to a gnat. Where lies thy grief? Oh, tell me, good Dumaine, or gentle Longaville, where lies thy pain? And where, my lieges, all about the breast, a coddle hoe.
Too bitter is thy jest. Are we thus betrayed to thy overview?
Not you to me, but I betrayed by you. I that am honest, I that hold it sin to break the vow I am engaged in. I am betrayed by keeping company with men like men of inconstancy. When shall you see me write a thing in rhyme, or groan for love? When shall you hear that I will praise a hand, a foot, a face, an eye, a brow, a breast, a waist, a leg, a limb?
Soft! Whither away so fast?
God bless the king!
What present hast thou there?
Some certain treason.
What makes treason here?
I beseech your grace, let this letter be read. Our parson misdoubts it, 'twas treason, he said.
Baron, read it over. Where hast thou it?
A custard.
Where hast thou it? How now? What is in you? Why dost thou tear it?
The toy, my liege, a toy. Your grace needs not fear it.
Did move him to passion, and therefore let's hear it.
No.
It is Baron's writing, and here is his name.
You whoreson loggerhead! You were born to do me shame! Guilty, my lord. Guilty. I confess.
What?
That you three fools lack me fool to make up the mess. He, you, and you, my liege, and I are pick purses in love, and we deserve to die. Oh, dismiss this audience, and I shall tell you more.
Now the number is even.
True, we are four. Will these lovebirds be gone?
Hence you away.
Walk aside, the true folk, and let the trickers stay.
Sweet lords, sweet lovers, oh, let us embrace. As true we are, as flesh and blood can be, the sea will ebb and flow, heaven show his face. Young blood doth not obey an old decree. We cannot cross the cause why we were born, therefore of all hands must we be forsworn.
What? Did these rent lines show some love of thine?
Did they, quoth you? Who sees the heavenly Rosaline, that like a rude and savage man of Ind, at the first opening of the gorgeous east, bows not his vassal head and strucken blind, kisses the base ground with obedient breast? What peremptory eagle-sighted eye dares look upon the heaven of her brow, that is not blinded by her majesty?
What zeal, what fury hath inspired thee now? My love, her mistress, is a gracious moon. She, an attending star, scarce seen a light.
My eyes are then no eyes, nor I Baron. Oh, but for my love, day would turn to night.
Then what of this? Are we not all in love?
Nothing so sure, and them I all forsworn.
Then leave this chat, and good Baron, prove our loving lawful, and our faith not torn.
I marry there some flattery for this evil.
Oh, some authority, how to proceed, some tricks, some quillets, how to cheat the devil.
'Tis more than need. How about you then, affection's men at arms? Consider what you first did swear unto: to fast, to study, and to see no woman. Flat treason against the kingly state of youth. And in that vow we have forsworn our books. For when would you, my liege, or you, in letting contemplation have found out such fiery numbers as the prompting eyes of beauty's tutors have enriched you with? Other slow arts entirely keep the brain. But love, first learned in a lady's eyes, lives not alone immured in the brain, but with the motion of all elements, courses as swift as thought in every power, and gives to every power a double power above their functions and their offices. It adds a precious seeing to the eye. A lover's eye will gaze an eagle blind. A lover's ear will hear the lowest sound. Love's feeling is more soft and sensible than are the tender horns of cockled snails. Love's tongue proves dainty Bacchus, gross in taste. For valor is not love a Hercules still climbing trees in the Hesperides? Subtle as Sphinx, as sweet and musical as bright Apollo's lute, strung with his hair. And when love speaks, the voice of all the gods makes heaven drowsy with the harmony. Never durst poet touch a pen to write until his ink were tempered with love's sighs. Oh, that his lines would ravish savage ears and plant in tyrants mild humility. From women's eyes this doctrine I derive. They sparkle still the right Promethean fire. They are the books, the arts, the academes that show, contain, and nourish all the world. Else none at all in aught proves excellent. Then fools you were, these women to forswear, and keeping what is sworn, you will prove fools. For wisdom's sake, a word that all men love, or for love's sake, a word that loves all men, or for men's sake, the authors of these women, or women's sake, by whom we men are men. Let us once lose our oaths to find ourselves, or else we lose ourselves to keep our oaths. It is religion to be thus forsworn, for charity itself fulfills the law. And who can sever love from charity?
St. Cupid, then, and soldiers to the field.
Advance your standards, and upon them, lords, pell-mell down with them.
Shall we resolve to woo these girls of France?
And win them too. Therefore, let us devise some entertainment for them in their tents.
We will with some strange pastime solace them, such as the shortness of the time can shape. Of masks, dances, revels, and merry hours, for unfair love, strewing her way with flowers.
Away, away, no time shall be omitted, that will be time, it may by us be fitted.
Alon.
Alon!